right, guys, quick little video on how to bleed your braking system, because if you followed the other videos that we had, we installed that front radiator cover, which needed to relocate the brake reservoir. Now we need to bleed this brake reservoir because the extra tubing that we added is all full of air. So this is how we do it. We had this cap which had two Phillips screws here, all right? So we just remove it. Guys, important, when you remove your cap, your seal should look like this, all right? This middle should be inside, because with the braking pressure sometimes the seal is popped out. So just make sure you re-put it back in before you put it back when you're done, all right? So the next step is to add some oil in your reservoir. Just add, here it's written what kind of oil you need to use. If you need any recommendations, just write down in the comments and we'll answer you with the kind of brake oil that you're going to need. Fill it up to 3/4, and then you're going to have to start pumping the brake, the foot pedal brake, because this is the rear reservoir. And we'll show you in a minute, but we're just explaining to you that you need to pump that, so for the pressure to build up so that you can bleed it from the back. By the way, if you want to do it DIY without a pump, we recommend for you guys to be at least two, all right? We're doing this in a DIY style so that you guys can do it at home. Just make sure that you're two people so that you could, one can pump, the other one can bleed. All right, guys, so next step would be remove this little plastic pin. All you do is just pull on it, and when you pull on it, this is what it looks like, all right? And then you're left with this, okay? So in order to start, so what you need is a 3/8, and this is how you do it. You go underneath, verify to see if it's not seized by just quick turning it, and then go to the next step. So the next step would be to get yourself a tube that you're going to cut to length so that you can have some kind of little bucket to collect the oil. If you need to know the size of this tube, and if you need to know the size of the tube in the front that we used, it's the same. So just comment down below and we'll tell you the size. So pay attention now, because this is something that you need to pay attention to. It's important. Make sure that the nut back there is closed. So then what you're going to do is you're going to start pumping, and you're going to notice bubbles in your reservoir up there. So you just keep pumping, I would say maybe 20 times. 1, 18, 19, 20, and you keep it. Keep your foot down, all right? Then your partner over there is going to start loosening the rear bolt for the bleed. Right, so then you start the same process. Make sure that the rear bolt is closed when you let go of your feet from the brakes, all right? So now the pin in the back is closed. So now I'm going to start pumping again. 2, 3, 18, 19, 20. And you hold it down. All right, guys, so it's always important you pump and then you stop pumping, you keep your foot on the brake, and then you let go. So it's the same process until you see the new oil started coming out or no more air bubbles going through your reservoir, all right? So now that we did a couple of big pumps, now we can do like 7, 8 pumps. You don't need to go all the way to 20. 6, 7 pumps is fine. So is that closed? Make sure it's closed. Then you start pumping. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Hold the brake. Loosen the nut and watch the oil come out. Make sure it's closed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Open the nut. And make sure your oil reservoir doesn't run out of oil. All right? Because if this runs out of oil, then you're going to again incorporate air inside. Make sure that's closed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You always have to make sure that you add oil so that if this runs out, you're going to incorporate air again. It's closed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Hold. Close it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Guys, always re-add oil. The idea here is to get that your foot brake, the pump becomes stiffer and stiffer. Once it becomes stiff after a couple of pumps, you'll know that you got the air out. Okay, guys, at some point you're going to realize that you won't be able to pump it all the way to 8 times. It'll come stiff. When the brake becomes stiff, when he releases that nut there, the pressure will go down. That's when you know that you're starting to get somewhere. The idea is once it starts getting stiff, then you do it 3, 4 times just to make sure that all the air is out. You're closed? All right, guys, and that's it. It was very simple. Make sure that your oil reservoir is above half full. All right. And like I said, make sure that your seal is popping inwards and not outwards. All right. Then you just go ahead, put your oil, put this back on, and you're done. Make sure that you have brake cleaner. If you don't have access to brake cleaner, then just water. Make sure you rinse it thoroughly. I don't really recommend water on brakes because if you're not going to be riding the bike or if it's not going to go outside right away, water creates corrosion. Just use brake cleaner. It's not very expensive. You can use it many, many times. So just make sure that you have the brake cleaner handy or at the minimum, rinse it with water. Then you go ahead and tighten everything. Make sure you put your little rubber pin back on. And that's it, guys. You're done. Thanks for watching. And this completes our front radiator install. That was part of the front radiator cover install. So now you can go ahead and reassemble everything.